So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to lecture number 8 of this lecture series called Prelims Powerplay 2026. Through this lecture series, we will revise the entire syllabus of UPSC for Prelims 2026 examination. And by just spending 1 hour every day between 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay? If you just spend this 1 hour every day with me through this lecture series, you will revise your entire portion of UPSC syllabus for prelims, mind you. Okay? But just watching this lecture, well, that won't do the job. Just after watching this lecture, you have to revise it and memorize it from the notes. Then you have to ask your doubts in our WhatsApp groups, and then you have to give the test on time. Follow these golden 4 steps, okay? Only then this lecture series will be able to help you. But if you follow all these 4 steps, well, this lecture series will make sure that you secure a place in the mains examination. You will clear prelims examination. All right? Okay. Let's begin with today's topic. And today we are going to cover parliamentary committees. Okay? Because this year in the news, well, parliamentary committees were in the news a lot. Okay? There were so many hot topics, so many hot bills that were tabled in the parliament by the ruling party, and they were referred to parliamentary committees. So parliamentary committees were in the news quite a lot. Therefore, we need to study all these parliamentary committees and basically remember each and every fact related to them. All right. So today's topic is parliamentary committees. So let's begin. So parliamentary committees. Okay. Now, what is the objective of setting up parliamentary committees? Okay. The thing is that the workload of parliament is huge. Parliamentarians, or MPs as we call them, members of parliament, well, they have their task cut out and their workload is huge. They have to debate on bills, they have to study the bills, then make sure that these are the right bills, then they have to keep the government also accountable. There is a lot of business that happens in parliament. Therefore, it becomes too much for parliamentarians to keep up with whatever is being discussed in parliament. That is why, well, our constitution, and not constitution, well, our polity basically created a method of division of labor. And this division of labor is known as parliamentary committees. Okay. So whenever there is a bill or a law that is being debated in parliament, it is referred to a specialist committee, which will analyze it clause by clause and give its recommendations. And based on those recommendations, all parliamentarians will vote on it. Suppose there is a scam like 2G scam or coal scam. Well, our parliament wants to investigate it. So there is a separate committee that is formed within parliament. Clear? Which investigates, gives its recommendation, then it is debated upon in parliament. You understand these parliamentary committees, right? Now, parliamentary committees are those committees which comprises of parliamentarians. When MPs are member of a committee, that is a parliamentary committee. But there are other qualifications as well. Listen to me carefully. There are so many committees in which members of parliament are members. Yet, not all such committees are parliamentary committees. For parliamentary committees, for a committee to be a parliamentary committee, there has to be 4 qualifications. Okay. So what are those 4 conditions? First of all, a parliamentary committee is the one which is appointed or elected by the House or nominated by the presiding officer. That is the speaker or the chairman. Okay. So there are many committees in which parliamentarians are members, but a parliamentary committee is the one which is appointed or elected by the House or nominated by the presiding officer, speaker or chairman. Then it is completely under the direction of presiding officer. Again, if it is a Lok Sabha committee, then speaker, Rajya Sabha committee, then chairman. Clear? Then it presents its report to the House or the presiding officer. And the secretarial services for this committee or the secretariat of this committee, if it is a Lok Sabha committee, then Lok Sabha secretariat, Rajya Sabha committee, then Rajya Sabha secretariat. Okay? These 4 conditions have to be fulfilled, then only a committee is called a parliamentary committee. Clear? There is another category of committee called consultative committees. Okay? Consultative committees are also those committees which have MPs as members, okay? Parliamentarians as members. But consultative committees are not called parliamentary committees. Now, what are consultative committees? I'll tell everything about it. But first, let's talk about parliamentary committees. Okay, so basically there are 2 types of parliamentary committees. Okay, standing parliamentary committees and ad hoc. Now, standing parliamentary committees are permanent committees. They always exist. standing parliamentary committees always exist. Okay, the members are elected every 1 year. New members are elected every year, but these committees always exist. These are standing parliamentary committees. Then there are ad hoc parliamentary committees. Ad hoc parliamentary committees are those committees which are formed for a specific task. Once that task is over, then that committee is dissolved. Okay, for example, there was 2G scam. So for 2G, to inquire into 2G scam, well, a committee was formed. Okay, once that committee presented its report, the committee was dissolved. This is an example of ad hoc committee. Clear? Now, let's suppose government is tabling a new bill in parliament. Now, just for inquiring into that bill, you have formed a committee. Okay, once the bill has been discussed properly in that committee, well, the committee will be dissolved. These are ad hoc committees. Ad hoc committees are those committees that are formed for a particular task, and once that task is over, they are dissolved. That is not the case with standing committees. They always exist. Clear? Now, ad hoc committees can be of two types. Select committee. Okay, select committee can be in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. This is generally created for basically analyzing a bill. Then there are joint committees. Joint committees are joint parliamentary committees. It contains members of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So in select committee, okay, Lok Sabha has its own select committee, Rajya Sabha has its own. But in joint committees, whenever there is a word joint, that means members of both houses of parliament are members in this committee as well. But nonetheless, remember this difference, okay? Ad hoc committees are temporary, standing committees are permanent. Okay? Now first let's talk about ad hoc committees. Okay? So yeah, ad hoc committees. So ad hoc committees are formed to examine a particular bill, investigate a specific issue, or inquire into a matter of public importance. Okay? The best feature or the most significant feature of ad hoc committees is that these are temporary. They dissolve once their mandate is fulfilled. Okay? Their role is inquiry on a specific matter or scrutinize a bill and advise on it. Clear? Now, in Lok Sabha, the speaker typically nominates the members. So, who would be the members of this ad hoc committee? Well, if it is a Lok Sabha ad hoc committee, the members shall be decided by the speaker. If it is a Rajya Sabha ad hoc committee, the members shall be decided by the chairman, Vice President of India, right? And if it is a joint committee, then generally the mandate is with speaker only. Make sense? So, this is ad hoc committees. Not much is there in ad hoc committees, that's it. Because they are temporary, they are created every now and then. For example, yesterday we talked about 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill, right? Criticism and controversies regarding that. So 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill is now with a joint select committee. Joint committee means basically members of both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. But it was an ad hoc committee, just created to inquire into 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill. Make sense? Okay. Now let's talk about standing committees. Okay, these are permanent committees. So standing committees are of various types. Number one category of standing committees is financial committees. There are three committees which are standing financial committees. These are Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, Committee on Public Undertakings. We'll talk about each and every one of them in a short while. Then there are departmental standing committees. These departmental standing committees are 24 in number, okay? And they are basically attached or they are related to specific ministries. So there will be a departmental standing committee with respect to finance, departmental standing committee with respect to home affairs, Ministry of Home. Their job is to analyze whatever work specific ministries of the government is performing. Clear? We'll talk about departmental standing committees as well. Then there are other parliamentary committees like inquiry committee, other committees. Okay, inquiry into breach of privilege, many other committees are there. We'll talk about their names one by one. Okay, plus more details are given in your notes. First, let's talk about financial committees. Okay, these are important. Questions can be asked from these committees only. Okay, so financial committees. I told you there are three types of financial committees: Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, and Committee on Public Undertakings, right? So let's discuss them one by one. So first let's talk about Public Accounts Committee. Okay, PAC. Now, what is the job of Public Accounts Committee? Read carefully, okay? Scrutinizing government's expenditure. So whatever expenditure the government is taking, well, Public Accounts Committee will check whether this expenditure is legally permissible or not. They will scrutinize or examine each and every expenditure incurred by the government, central government, okay? So scrutinizing government expenditure. Plus, government expenditure is also analyzed by CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General. CAG also presents its report every year to the Parliament. That report is brought to Public Accounts Committee for analysis. So basically, Public Accounts Committee keeps a check on public expenditure, government expenditure, okay? And other financial accounts presented to the Parliament. Now, this Public Accounts Committee is a British era committee. It was formed in 1921, okay? As per Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, okay? But remember 1921, it is a British era committee, clear? Now it has 22 members, remember these facts, these are important. It has 22 members, 15 would be from Lok Sabha, 7 would be from Rajya Sabha. And these members are elected by the Houses of Parliament. So these 15 members shall be elected by Lok Sabha members, 7 members are elected by Rajya Sabha members. And what is the method of election? Proportional representation system, not first past the post system. Proportional representation system, okay? Lok Sabha will elect 15, Rajya Sabha will elect 7. Remember, a sitting minister cannot be a member of this committee. Ministers are not allowed to be members of this committee, okay? So these are members. Now what about the chairperson? The chairperson is appointed by speaker, not chairman of Rajya Sabha, speaker of Lok Sabha. And generally there is this convention. It is nowhere written though, but generally there is this convention that the chairman shall be appointed from opposition party. It is generally followed. There is no rule as such, but it is generally followed that the chairman will be appointed by speaker and would be from opposition party. Clear? The tenure of Public Accounts Committee is 1 year. Okay, that's about it. So this is Public Accounts Committee. Now let's talk about Estimates Committee. Okay, so what is the job or role of Estimates Committee? This examines the estimates of expenditure of various government ministries and departments. So every ministry or government department incurs some expenditure, earns some money. Those accounts are analyzed by Estimates Committee. Budget is analyzed by Estimates Committee. So government presents its budget, and in that budget, government explains what money will be spent by Ministry of Education, what money will be spent by Ministry of Home Affairs, what money will be spent by Ministry of Defense. All of this analysis is done by Estimates Committee. Government presents its budget, but that budget is scrutinized and analyzed by Estimates Committee. It aims to ensure efficiency and economy in public spending. So Estimates Committee will check that government is spending 1000 crore rupees on Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. It should spend only 800 crore rupees. Or government is spending 10,000 crore rupees on tanks. It can spend only 5,000 crore rupees if it is truthful and proper. Okay, so these kinds of analysis take place in Estimates Committee. Now, this Estimates Committee was formed in 1950 following the recommendation of the then Finance Minister John Mathai. Okay, and remember, Estimates Committee is only a Lok Sabha committee. It has no members from Rajya Sabha. It has total 30 members, and all are Lok Sabha members elected by Lok Sabha only through proportional representation system. No minister can be a member. Okay, but remember, 30 members all from Lok Sabha. Chairperson is appointed by Speaker, and the tenure is 1 year. Simple. Now let's quickly shift to Committee on Public Undertakings. Well, the job of Committee on Public Undertakings is to analyze the accounts, finance of government companies, which are called PSUs, to oversee the performance and accountability of public sector undertakings. PSUs, government companies, that's it, that's their mandate. Now, it was formed in 1964 on the recommendation of Krishna Menon Committee. As far as its composition and chairman is concerned, it is similar to Public Accounts Committee. It has 22 members, 15 Lok Sabha, 7 Rajya Sabha, from proportional representation system, chairperson appointed by speaker, tenure is 1 year. Clear? All these details are given in your notes. Now, these are some facts. It contains factual information. Therefore, you have to remember it, memorize it. Do that memorization from the notes after this lecture, okay? And now, we will move on to another category of standing committees, and that is departmental standing committees. Okay. Now, why are they called departmental standing committees? Well, they are basically, their mandate or their job is related to a particular department or ministry of the government. Okay, for example, to analyze the working of Ministry of Finance, there will be a departmental standing committee on finance. Okay, and so on and so forth. Currently, there are 24 departmental standing committees. Clear? Now let's talk about them. Okay. So about DSCs, so about their history. So they were first established. This is a parliamentary innovation. Before 1993, there were no departmental standing committees. So they were first formed in 1993. And back then, there were 17 departmental standing committees. Their number was increased to 24 in 2004. What is their purpose? To provide in-depth scrutiny of government functioning and policy making within specific departments or ministries. Okay? Each departmental standing committee will take care of a specific ministry or department. Right? So this is their purpose. As far as their membership is concerned, so it contains, all departmental standing committees contain 31 members, 21 from Lok Sabha, 10 from Rajya Sabha, and remember this difference, okay? Because an MCQ can be asked. All members of departmental standing committees are not elected, they are not appointed by the presiding officer. They are not elected, appointed. So no election, proportional representation election takes place. This is just plain and simple appointment. Their tenure is 1 year. 24 departmental standing committees, each covering a group of related ministries. They examine the demands for grants of related ministries, scrutinize their bills, analyze annual reports, everything. These departmental standing committees were formed so that Parliament can keep a check on the government and its ministries. Make sense? So these are departmental standing committees. Now there are some other categories of standing committees, but those are minor committees, okay? So there are some committees to inquire, inquiry committees, committees to scrutinize and control, okay? Committees related to day-to-day business of the house, housekeeping committees like library committee and everything, okay? Some examples would be given in your notes, so go through this, but these committees are not that important. DRCS, Departmental Standing Committees, DSCS, okay? Departmental Standing Committees and Financial Committees are more important, okay? So this is parliamentary committees. Now I told you that, well, not all committees in which parliamentarians are members are called parliamentary committees, because there is a particular category of committees in which members are parliamentarians only, but they are not called parliamentary committees, okay? And this particular category of committees is called consultative committees. Remember, consultative committees are not parliamentary committees. Just remember this fact, okay? Now, what are consultative committees? So some of the key features are, consultative committees in the Indian Parliament are advisory bodies. These are just advisory bodies attached to various ministries. Basically, well, our polity wants, our government wants that parliamentarians should be aware of day-to-day functioning of different ministries. So they create these consultative committees in which there are different parliamentarians attached to these specific ministries, and their role is just advisory. It is up to the ministry whether to listen to them or not. Okay? They provide a platform for MPs to interact with government officials and discuss polity matters. Remember, they are not parliamentary committees because Speaker has no role in this. Okay? They are just advisory in nature and they are just discussion forums only. They just do discussion. Okay? Other facts, members of these consultative committees are from both houses. Membership is voluntary. An MP can say, I don't want to be a member of this consultative committee, I want to be a member of this consultative committee. It's completely voluntary. Committees typically have maximum membership of 30 and minimum 10. Committees are ministry specific. The formation of these committees are generally aligned with every general election or every budget. Okay. Generally, the tenure is 2 years of consultative committees, but it can vary with every consultative committee. Some consultative committees have 3 years, some 1 year, but generally it is 2 years. Okay. Now, the operations of these consultative committees, or who would choose the members of these consultative committees, everything related to consultative committees is regulated by Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. This ministry of the government is responsible for this. All right. And that would be all. That's all the information you need as far as parliamentary committees are concerned. Now, because this lecture contained a lot of factual information, it is important for you to remember and memorize this factual information. Therefore, do not forget to memorize all of this from the notes. Now, these notes are available on our app or website, and for that you have to register on our app or website, and the registration details are given in the comment section below. Do check them out. All right? And that would be all from my side, guys. I hope this lecture series is helping you. I'm sure it is helping you. Just stay consistent with it till your prelims examination. On that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of topics. Thank you, everyone.